Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zero. Let's get to it. So today we're doing the Deep Dive, codenamed Corrosive Rising. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. Stage 1 of the Deep Dive has lethal enemies, mini mules, and alien eggs. Lethal enemies, of course, means that all your melee damage from enemies is going to be increased. So keep those enemies at arm's length whenever possible. Alien eggs, of course, you're going to look for the organic matter on the sides of the level and dig in towards the pulsing red light to get to that egg. Mini mules you're going to look for and listen for them. They're going to pulse green light and, of course, ping when you get close to them. Now, when you're digging out the alien eggs, you will spawn some enemies even if you do not spawn a swarm, so make sure that you're keeping a lookout for those enemies. Now, this stage of the deep dive, and actually all stages of the deep dive this week, are very open and very vertical. So having classes like scouts, driller, anything that'll give you vertical movement is going to be great. Sometimes the driller is going to be more useful, sometimes a zipline is going to be more useful. But there's a lot of open space and it's a lot going on all over the place, so it might be a little bit more difficult to navigate than some weeks for the deep dive. Just keep that in mind. Also, there's lots of septic spreaders and lots of stingtails to look out for. Now, once you get all of the mini mules put together and you get all of the alien eggs, then you're ready to move on to the next step so that you can move on from this first stage of the deep dive. And of course you'll want to, since all the enemies are going to be doing increased melee damage. So once you get all the alien eggs and all the mini mules repaired, then you can move on to repairing the uplink, which is a zone control. And then once you finish with that, then you'll have another zone control by refueling the drop pod. So both of the zone controls, you want as many people inside of the bubble as possible, because the more people that are in the bubble, the faster the progress goes. The fewer people, the slower it goes. And if nobody's inside of that green-ish bubble, then you start losing progress rapidly. So make sure that you have at least one member of your team alive and within the bubble at all times. Now, once you have both the zone controls done, you're still not done. You have to wait for the drop pod to power up. That's 90 seconds that you have to defend or run around from these lethal enemies before you can move on to the next stage of the deep dive. Now, this is a good time to point out that the deep dive is a 3-stage raid-like environment where you can play with your buddy Bosco or with up to 3 other players, either pre-made or match-made. Know that you can do the deep dive by yourself, but it will likely take you longer, even though Bosco is pretty awesome teammate to play with. So that's it for stage number 1. Moving on to stage number 2.
Nicely done. Express elevator to Helm, heading out.
Alright, stage 2 of the deep dive has critical weakness. That means that when you hit a weak point on the enemy bugs, that damage will be multiplied. So you're going to do increased damage. So make sure that you're hitting weak points. You're going to be doing alien eggs and mini mules again. This time around, it's reversed. So you only have to put the mini mules together. You do not have to do the rest of the salvage mission. So look for the alien eggs, look for the mini mules, and then that's all you have to worry about it. And then you can just run to the drop pod once you call it in. So the alien eggs are going to be on the terrain scanner, so if you're not sure where they're at, you can look on there. Mini mules are not, so you will have to look for and listen for them, just like you did the last time around in stage number 1. But once you have all the mini mules and alien eggs, call in the drop pod and make your way out. Now this is a good time to point out that everything carries over from one stage of the deep dive to the next. That includes your ammo, your health, your traversal tools, grenades, everything, including what's in your pocket. So if everything is getting a little too crazy, or you didn't have a chance to put things into the side of the drop pod or the mule before going on to the next stage, it'll still be in your pockets. Just be sure to put that into the side of the drop pod before you finish the third and final stage of the deep dive, just to ensure that you get credit for it. So that's it for stage number 2. Moving on to stage number 3.
Initiating launch sequence. Deep Rock Galactic thanks you for your good work. Drop pod will leave with or without you.
Alright, the third and final stage of the deep dive has a black box, liquid morkite, and shield disruption. So this time around you have no shield. Every time you get hit, knocks a little bit more off of your life. So you're slowly ticking away to your own demise. So try to keep those bugs at bay and keep your eyes open for any and all red sugar so that you can stay alive throughout this level. Now, liquid morkite, unlike crystallized morkite, can't be mined with a pickaxe. You have to call in a pump jack in. So look for that blue flare and smoke, which will indicate where the geysers, where the liquid morkite is. Look for the black box. It'll be somewhere in the area. It will have a green glow to it, just like a mini mule. And once again, it is a zone control, just like you had in the first stage of the deep dive, except this time around you have no shields, so it is all the more important to make sure that you're keeping those bugs outside of the zone, not because they're going to stop progress, but because they're going to try to stop your life. So keep the bugs out. Call on a resupply pod if you think you're going to need it. If the area around the zone is not very defensible, if it's not a very great, if it's not bottlenecked where you can deal with enemies very easily, have that resupply pod just so you can have extra ammo and or health as needed during this zone control. Now once you call in the pump jacks to all 3, or each of the 3, or even one of the 3 geysers, then you can run out the framework from the rig to the pump jack and then build out the piping. Once you have it up for all 3 of the geysers, then you can start pumping and refining that liquid morkite from the liquid morkite to the rig. Now at some point it's going to start leaking, and then you're going to go ahead and have to repair those lines. The flashing red tells you that that line needs help. It's got leaks going on, and your progress is interrupted until all the leaks are repaired. So make sure that you get those repaired toot sweet so that you'll be ready to move on and out of the deep dive. And of course, the reason to do the deep dive is for those matrix cores, in addition to the credits and experience you get from doing the missions. Also, make sure that you're keeping your eyes open for gold and nitra throughout the deep dive on every stage. Nitra will give you more resupply pods, which will keep you flush with ammo and health during the deep dive, and gold will give you more credits at the end of the deep dive. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
Let's see if you can get me up here, stupid bugs! Bam! Cargo rocket launched! Shield charged!
Well done. Cargo rocket is returning to orbit. We're sending in the drop pod to get you out. Hang tight.
Marker up! I ordered a resupply!
Drop pod departing in T-minus 3 minutes.
I ordered a resupply!
Supply pod launched. Better stand back.
Could the rest of you please hurry?
Supply pod requisitioned. Launching now.
I ain't getting younger, you know!
That's one for the books. Retrieving escape pod.
The resupply is here. Rock on! You!
PlayStation